What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. So today I have a pretty special unboxing and review video for you all today. Now I recently was just browsing around on Amazon and I saw this tank pop up and I just couldn't help but notice the cheap price and the look of the real Sherman tank. And I just thought to myself, you know what, this will make for an awesome unboxing and review video. And I don't really have, I pretty much sold my 1/16 scale tanks, and you know, I've really been needing a travel size RC tank. So if I go to like vacation or just on a trip, you know, if I want something to take with me to kind of just play around with and you know, just have fun with, or just waste time with, I figured, you know what, I'm gonna get this thing so I have a little to-go size tank. As you know, I recently got into the 1/6 scale hobby, or the 1/6 scale size hobby with vehicles and tanks and just figures and all that. And I just bought a 1/6 scale M5 Stuart, and you know, I said I'm gonna sell my other tanks because I'm moving on and I'm focusing on 1/6 scale. And then later on, I realized, you know what? I can't really take my M5 Stuart because it's so big everywhere I go, and it mostly sits indoors. I'm planning on going to the park this weekend to probably get some footage of it running outside. But as I said, you know, it's pretty big and hard to move around, so that's why I bought this, so I can have a little tank that I can pick up with me, pack it up, and go wherever I need to go. So enough talk, let's go ahead and get into the details of this tank. I paid around $80 for this thing on Amazon. So let's go ahead and look at the box. As you see here, it says tank household, which doesn't really make sense to me. I guess it's a tank to protect your house. Or what they're trying to say is it's a tank for indoor use or to play around in the house. Whatever, that's, I'm guessing, you know, it was made in China, and they probably have interesting translations there, so yeah, that's the whole story with that. So on the top, so this, they say this is actually a 1/20th scale. It looks a little bit bigger for 1/20, I'm not too sure. I don't know if they got the scale mixed up or not, but this is pretty similar size to the 1/16 scale. That's also one reason why I bought it, because it's pretty big for its scale. On the top or around the box, you see some pictures of other tanks that they sell. Those other tanks aren't that realistic looking, so I didn't really go for them. So on the top here, you just get a, I guess you could say, aerial view of what you're getting here. It looks like two binoculars right there, so that's, or not two, one binocular, so you're looking through a binocular. That looks pretty cool. RC sound, LED lights, and the functions it shows right there. So not too much detail. Look at that, made in China. I mean, I'm not surprised, but okay. And it says it's made by Yonghang Toys Co. So okay, yeah. There's the other side of the tank right there. Yeah, not too much details. It's all pretty much just clear plastic, so you see what you're getting before you pick it up. And then there's the bottom. Now the bottom is listed here with all the other tanks that you can get. So let's see here. Right there you can get a Tiger tank. You can get another Tiger tank. A M20, I think that's an M26 Pershing. Or that says a Snow Leopard, but I don't know. Another Snow Leopard. US M1A2. And see, that just doesn't look really much like an M1A2. It looks really similar, but the turret is kind of, I don't know, weirdly shaped. There's another USM2, different camo schemes right there. Here you have a Russian T90 as well over there. They come in different camo schemes, as I said. An Israel Merkava tank. What else here? German Leopard tank, just right there. US M60 tank, and another one that right there. So those are all the tanks in the series that you can get. None of them really appealed to me. I mostly like the look of the Henglong tanks. I don't know if you've heard of that company before. I definitely recommend them. I own two of them, their tanks, until I sold them because two of them broke and I didn't really have the money to fix them, so I just decided to get money and sell them so I could save up to buy the 1/6 scale M5 Stuart that I now own. And as I said before, the reason why I bought this is it's pretty cheap, 80 bucks. 80 bucks may not be cheap for some people, but for the size and for what you get, it's pretty cheap. But in this video, we're also going to test it out indoors and see how it works. I'm going to set up some obstacles, so I'll get to that in a sec. But without further ado, I guess it's time to unbox this tank. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it out of the box, and I'll get back to you guys whenever it's out of the box and everything. I've already unboxed everything, so I know I said I was going to get back to you guys whenever I took everything out of the box and out of the packaging, but one thing that I just couldn't not say is just the really cool, sturdy, protective plastic that they put over this tank. I really like this. Why? Because I can go ahead and put this tank over here and put it like in a bag if I'm going somewhere. And then, you know, it's protected, so if something falls on it, it's not going to break it. So I have a really nice protective case for it. So this is what came out from the box. One thing that I did not mention, but already it's going to be in the title of this video, of course, is that it has an airsoft shooting function, which is really interesting. And another reason why I bought this tank, because, well, what's a tank if it cannot shoot? You know what I'm saying? So this is pretty much the kit that you can build the little target, and we're going to build this, and we're going to test the airsoft feature here in a second. I'm hoping it comes with BBs. If it doesn't, I'll be really disappointed. But okay, so here's the manual. Let's see. So Chinese or Japanese manuals usually are pretty funny, so I'm gonna kind of skim through here and see if we can find something funny. Oh, I'm already finding some things. Okay, so okay, let me zoom in on this right here. Look at that. Wear your goggles so you don't shoot whatever that is, and it the target, yeah, and it bounces and hits you. I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory. Do not shoot at pets or humans. And the next one, do not drive the tank on the road. Yeah, okay. And then a kid eating the pieces, choking on them, choking hazard. Okay. Oh, okay. Oh. So do not use the remote control to whack other people with it. And do not make sure you don't whack yourself in the face with the antenna. Oh, man, you gotta love these manuals. Don't put your fingers in the... Oh, here it is. Don't put your fingers in the sprocket, because they will probably... you'll probably get a little cut in there. And it'll probably crunch your finger pretty, or kind of not, how do I put this? You'll probably break your finger, and you know, with a tank that should be self-explanatory. So, and that's where the battery pack goes. Let's see what else we got here. Yeah. So, oh, and the main number one rule, guys: do not shoot yourself with the tanks. So, oh man, yeah, don't do that, guys. Definitely don't do that. Okay, that's enough of looking at the manual. I'll really get back to you guys here in a sec whenever I take away all of these zip ties and stuff. So I'll be back in a sec. What is up, guys? So one thing that I will mention with this is, you know, it's just really irritating that they placed all of the accessories here where you have to unscrew them, and it takes up a lot of time. And it is really getting my nerves, but it's not hard. It's, you know, you can undo these things pretty easily, but next time if you're gonna do something like this, designers or creators, whoever, just, you know, do what Hang Long does and don't tie them up to the bottom of the case. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Alright, I'll get back to you guys in one sec. Alright, so here's what you get out of the box. Now, that was quite a struggle to get everything out, because each individual piece was literally screwed into the bottom of the packaging or the crate. So, as I said, I definitely recommend to whoever makes these toys and models, Please don't do that anymore. That is really a pain for the buyer to undo and unbox, and it takes up quite a bit of time. All right. So this is what you get with the whole set. One battery, I believe it is it says here 750 mAh 9.6 volt battery, which is not too bad, a decent amount of power, battery power. And so we get another box here, and it says doesn't really say anything on it, but let's go ahead and open it up and see what we get inside this box here. So right away we get, looks like it is the Tank Commander figure, which doesn't look too bad. I'm probably going to paint him, kind of make him look more detailed, and he would go just somewhere on top over there. What else do we get here? Oh, okay, so we get the, this looks like the 50 caliber machine gun that we do have to assemble, but just one little piece here, and it's a complete gun. And then the other, man, I don't know what this gun is, but another gun, which I don't think is, yeah, never mind, yeah, that's good. Okay, so that's what we get in that box. Let's see what we get here. I'm assuming that these are the BBs, or at least hoping. Yep, okay, thank goodness. So there are the BBs, that's all that comes in the box. This is the amount of BBs that you get. Not too much, actually, because these are going to run out real quick, so I'm going to have to go find some whenever they do run out. Let's see what we get here. So we get a regular charger, cheap plastic, not too bad. Comes with the light, so you can see green or red, but pretty cool. And then we get the battery for the 9-volt battery for the remote. The remote is pretty cheap, light, not too bad though, but a lot of, I guess you would say, unnecessary controls here. Yeah, I don't know. With the hang-long remotes, it's just, you know, your toggle switches, I think that's what they're called, and you just move them like that, but this is all these buttons here, but it's not too big of a deal. It doesn't really come with an antenna here, so I'm wondering how far it will really go. Oh, and there's a whole other set of functions here as well on the top of the remote. So let's go ahead and put the battery in just so it's already inside here. Let me make sure I'm putting it in correctly. Minus, plus, you always gotta check these over here. Alright. Okay. Just like that. Or not. Oh. Okay, there we go. Alright, should work now. Yep. Perfect. Okay. And then we have a nice little screwdriver here. Okay, so that's what you get with the whole box, including the target setup. Now, let's go ahead and actually look at the tank itself. I didn't really want to make this video too long, but I'm a guy who likes detail, so that's that. Now, I'm a big history buff, and already looking at it, this tank is definitely not historically correct to the real tank. But as I said, I was just looking to get something to, you know, play around with, fool around with, you know, waste time whenever I'm on vacation or whatever. So I wasn't too picky about the detail, but I'm going to be picky just for the review here on this tank. And I'm talking for the collectors out there. I wouldn't really buy this tank if you're a collector because it's not that really historically correct. Stick with the hang-long tanks because they are historically correct. Alright, let's critique this tank. So, really nice details though, not too bad with the details. There's the two headlights, they should turn on in a sec, we'll test out its functions. So we got a spare bogey wheel, a little bit too big in my opinion for the tank. They weren't that big and they didn't look exactly like that back in World War II. Looks like an oil can here. A spare track, which for some reason is colored and tan cover. I don't know if this is supposed to be a cover on it. I don't even know. We got I think it's a 30 cal. I'm not exactly sure what gun was in here, but not too bad. Doesn't really move or anything. Then we have this thing, which I forgot what it's called, but it's supposed to hold the barrel. So that's pretty much the purpose for that. We get another spare bogey. Let's go to the sides. So this one is I believe a Mexican tank, Caballero, or it doesn't really have to be a Mexican tank. I guess it can just be the name. The crew just chose whatever they wanted to name it. So then number 68 and number 302 on here. Oh, and the same thing on this side as well. Okay, let's go ahead and look at the top. So really nice. They put some 50 and 30 cal ammo boxes, I believe, over here. You got the Star, HL2, 302. Let's see here. I think these are supposed to be extra tracks. I'm not too sure. Then you got the back tail lights. You got a shovel, axe, sledgehammer, crowbar, I'm not exactly sure. You got a crate right here that I might actually paint because crates weren't really in that color. Wood color, of course. I'm not exactly sure what this is. Got a jerry can, another ammo can. Not sure what that is. Little pouch here, or backpack. Another jerry can. Looks like to be 2 helmets. Yeah, and that's for this. And then on the top turret, you got the... okay, here. You got another backpack here, or equipment pack over here. This is where so right here, this is where the on and off is for the tank itself, I believe. Or that might be the on and off for the airsoft feature. Yeah, that's the on and off for the airsoft feature right there. This hatch also opens, so you can go ahead and place your figure. So, just like, let's see if it'll fit in here. Yeah, so he'll stay in there just like that. Not too bad. Yeah, that's pretty much it. You got an escape hatch right there. Oh, and then on this side you got a little equipment rack here. So another jerry can, two M1 helmets. And then the barrel, I don't know, the barrel doesn't really look historically correct because it was short, but it wasn't that short. I don't know. I believe it would have been a little bit longer. Correct me if I'm wrong. Another historically incorrect thing is this huge, whatever this thing is, sight or binocular, whatever, for the tank mounted right there. I'm really tempted to remove this, but I'm not sure how much that'll affect the airsoft capabilities. But this thing just, I don't know, just really bugs me. But this is actually where you would load your airsoft BBs in here. I don't really know why they did that. In the hang-long tanks, you would load the airsoft BBs through here, and they would fall in like that. But, you know, the hang-long tanks are prone to gun jams, and the guns always break on them, or at least the ones I've bought. The gun systems would always malfunction on them. But they looked really, really good and really historically correct. So, I don't know. Okay, so that's a tank. Another thing that really bugs me when being a history buff, the suspension, sprocket, and just the whole way the wheels are set up. So, historically, the main sprocket wheel was not here. It was right there in the front, pulling from the front. That would be here, and that would be there. It really looks weird, but hey, it's a special tank, I guess, huh? I got one of a kind. Nah, I don't know, but... and then the bogey wheels are just too big for how they would have really been. It does come with suspension, but one thing that I just don't like is it's so like look, it moves, okay, right here, but I might have to see if I can unscrew it and just lessen the stress on here, because these, look at that, those bogey wheels barely even move. I mean, like, it's suspension, but really not really anything, no movement there, and that means it's going to be a hard and bumpy ride for the commander up there, because the suspension on both sides just doesn't really move at all. So, you know, that's one thing that kind of bugs me. The wheels up here do move. The tracks are rubber, so the tracks are looking nuts. Oh, the tracks aren't too bad. And then one thing with the being historically correct is, I want to say that this is too wide, and it's too low because the other tanks were, yeah, this is just, I don't know, this is definitely not historically correct whatsoever. But enough talk. I'm sure you guys are pretty excited to see how this thing works. So I'm going to go ahead and put the battery inside, start this thing up, load some BBs. We're going to shoot it right in this area. And all right, I'll see you then. Alright, so I've just inserted the battery. One thing that I do love about this tank is the battery tray. You just slide one thing and the lid pops out and you can easily remove it. Unlike the hang-long tanks where you have to sit there and unscrew the lid in order to take out and recharge the battery and then put it back in. So this is a time saver on the bottom. But why couldn't they figure it out and put, you know, like, or twisty ties, whatever, but not, you know, have those things and accessories screwed into the packaging? Like, why couldn't you do that? Okay, so let's go ahead, and I've already got the target set up, but let's, okay, so it makes a little beep noise. You got the front headlights already turned on, and it looks like the back headlights are also turned on. So we're gonna go ahead and place a tank here. Let's go ahead and get the BBs right here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and open the Airsoft or the BB bag here and get some BBs right here so we can fire them. So, okay, let's go ahead and open this hatch here. Drop in one BB. Let's go ahead and drop in two BBs here. Okay, let's go ahead and start this thing up and see how it works. So, see how the Airsoft feature works. Okay, so there is the remote. Let's go ahead and see if we can start it up here. I think we can just move it, but... Oh, no, okay, it already moved. So there's no engine sound effects. Okay, I kind of expected engine sound effects, but... Okay, so let's... Oh, so there are sound effects if you're moving, but if you're not, there are no sound effects. Okay, so there are the turret functions here. So let's go ahead and move the turret. There we go. All right. Muzzle up and down. Okay, I think we have our target in sight. Let's go ahead and fire and see how this thing works. All right, on 3. 1, 2, and actually, I'm going to zoom in to show you guys if it hits a target or not. 1 sec. Okay, there we go. 3, 2, and 1. Fire. Ooh! So it hit it, and then it hit back at me. It flew off, so it deflected. Let's fire one more time. Ooh, man, that thing has some firing power, I'll tell you that. Okay, let's zoom out here and kind of show you how it fires. Oh, we're out of BBs. Here, let me put one more in here. That's pretty nice. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Woo! Man, that's pretty nice, guys. That's pretty cool. I'll have to upload a separate video of this thing in action outside. But okay, so we just fired it. Everything works perfectly fine. Let's go ahead and see what kind of damage it did to this target here. So look at that. 2 shots, 1 and 2 right there. And 3 actually right there. That's pretty cool, guys. And apparently they said this is a metal barrel. The outside is actually coated in plastic and the inside is metal. So okay, so now let's go ahead and kind of drive this thing around, and I'm going to go through a little small tutorial of how this thing, all its functions. So I just already skipped ahead and did the firing function as you saw there. Now we're just going to drive it and see how it works. So, alright, so this is going to be forward, back, left, right, traverse left, traverse right, ooh, and it's lifting up the map, traverse forward left, forward right, and reverse, and then double speed, I think. Okay. Oh, that gives it more speed. So this right here is normal speed, and this is fast speed right here if you hit these two. So not too big of a difference, but not too bad. I mean, drives pretty well. One thing I will say is kind of slow, but you know, you got to remember these things are pretty much manufactured for kids. Not really meant to look historically correct, so I'll give it to them for the playability and the functions. They work perfectly, so I'm going to go ahead and rate this thing a, let's see here, yeah, we're going to skip to the ratings. Out of a 10, I'll rate this thing a 7 for functionality, however you say that. So yeah, I mean, it's a pretty cool tank. I'm going to go ahead and set up an obstacle course for. Alright guys, so now we're going to test its capabilities indoors. Unfortunately, I had to come up with some things, so I found this old kind of destroyed RC model, or not RC, die-cast model car or Jeep, and we're going to crush it with the tank, or at least try to. Might be a little bit of a challenge for it, but you know what, we'll see, because this thing has a good amount of power, and yeah, so let's see if it can crush this tank. If it can't, or at least go over it, but if it can't, then we're going to move on to the next obstacle test. We're just going to keep on testing it for a couple minutes, and it'll be the end of the video there. So let's go ahead and see if this thing can crush this car. Okay, I'm going to back up to get as much speed as I might need. Okay, here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Ooh, see, it almost made it, but so now it's not going to be able to go over, but maybe it can crush it here on this edge here. There you go. There you go. So we crushed the front of the car. There you go. Oh, let's see if we can actually go over it this way. Wait. One more time. There we go. Oh, we flipped the tank. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so not too bad. I guess part of the reason is it doesn't have too much power, but it does, how to put this, there's not really a good amount of suspension in it, so it just kind of, yeah, it's like a World War I type tank, no suspension whatsoever. Even though it does have suspension, you know, the suspension barely even moves, so. Okay, so we just tried to we attempted to crush a toy car. Didn't work out too well, and that's part of the reason is because it doesn't really have high ground clearance. It's really low to the ground there, so there's one reason. But this is a little bit lower, and it should be able to go over this, so we're just going to test it out and see if it can. So let's see here. All right, 1, 2, 3. Oh my goodness, easy, look at that. Let's go backwards. Oh yeah, piece of cake for this thing. Oh, look at that, the turret, or the commander's hats just popped right off here. Fail, okay. Let's see if we can attach it here, back where it's supposed to be. There we go, yeah, okay. So, yeah. Let's try this one more time. Let me kind of get a zoom in here. Alright, so there you have it guys. The tank works pretty well. As I said a few minutes ago, I rate it at a 7 out of a 10. So yeah, it's a pretty cool tank. I definitely recommend it. If you're a kid out there who just wants an awesome little RC tank to play with and just have a great time with, definitely recommend this. If it is too expensive, I get it. For you at least. For a collector, I do not recommend it because it is definitely not historically correct, but it's a fun toy to play around with. As I said, I pretty much bought it just to have fun with, vacation, and I guess it will serve me well. Doesn't have too much energy, but it has enough. It's to go over obstacles like that, those little bricks there. So it is definitely a really nice tank, and yeah, so that's going to have to conclude this unboxing and review. It is a pretty long video. I didn't really want to make it that long, but you know, I had to get into all the details and kind of show you guys how everything works, just to see if you guys might be interested in buying it. So yeah. Oh, and one thing that I was going to say is it is a money saver in a way as to the hang-long tanks, which, as I've stated, they are more highly detailed and more historically correct and pretty good quality RC tanks, ranging from World War II to modern tanks. And they range from $100 all the way to $200–300, so they are pretty expensive. But this tank is around 80 bucks, so you know, it's quite a bit. You save quite a bit of money there. But you know, there are some limitations to what it can do, and there are some unfortunate things on it, as the you know, not really historically correct things. But you know, a kid doesn't really care about if it's historically correct or not. It just wants something that's durable and can you know, withstand rough play, and this thing definitely would. There are some fragile parts on it, like the headlights, but you know, it should do fine if your child's going to play with it. So yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Make sure to drop a like on this video, subscribe if you're new, and if you're still watching, I definitely appreciate it. Thanks for all the support, guys. Definitely make sure to check out all my other videos, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace. Oh, that was a fail. Let's try that again. Peace.